Oral reading helps you improve your pronunciation and broaden your expression in daily conversation. One of the most important benefits of oral readings is the satisfaction you derive from bringing a writer's words to life. Our next speaker's project is to read out loud from a literary work, hopefully one that appeals not only to the reader but to us as the audience. Working from the Specialty Speeches Advanced Manual, Debra Kroon Yates has selected a piece from Ray Bradbury's vast works, Dandelion Wine. So with that, please welcome Debra with Dandelion Wine.
Thank you. Sorry. Ray Bradburyy says he wrote Dandelion Wine in order to capture the feeling and some of the actual events of his childhood in the 1930s. That's what his narrator, 12-year-old Douglas Spaulding, is experiencing. However, looking back at childhood is as much a process of forgetting as it is of remembering. And Douglas is living in a town that's gripped by fear of the lonely one, who may be a brutal killer, or maybe only the figment of the overactive imaginations of some of the townspeople. In a sense, the book is about the conflict between the desire to remember and the need to forget. But Lavinia Nebbs doesn't want to do either one. She's a proper, down-to-earth, middle-aged matron who decides to combat all of the silliness about the lonely one by walking to a movie on a Saturday night with two of her friends, just as she does every weekend. Afterwards, her friends and a local policeman offer to escort her home. She declines, and as this excerpt begins, she finds herself at the edge of a ravine she must cross to get to her house. From Dandelion Wine by Ray Bradburyy. Here I am, she thought, the ravine. She stood on the edge of the 113 steps that went down the steep hill, then across the bridge, 70 yards and up the hills leading to Park Street. And only one street light to see by. 3 minutes from now, she thought, I'll be putting my key in my house door. Nothing can happen in just 180 seconds. She started down the long, dark green steps into the deep ravine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps, she whispered to herself. She felt she was running, but she was not running. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 steps, she breathed. 1/5 of the way, she announced to herself. The ravine was deep, black, and black, black. And the world was gone behind, the world of safe people in bed, the locked doors, the town, the drugstore, the theater, the lights. Everything was gone. Only the ravine existed and lived black and huge around her. Nothing has happened, has it? No one is around there, is there? 24, 25 steps. Suddenly she screamed. It was like nothing she'd ever heard, that scream. She'd never screamed that loud in her life. She stopped. She froze. She clung to the wooden banister. Her heart exploded in her. The sound of the terrified beating filled the universe. There, she screamed to herself, at the bottom of the steps. A man under the light. No, now he's gone. He was waiting there. She listened. Silence. The bridge was empty. Nothing, she thought, holding her heart. Nothing. Fool! How silly. What shall I do? Her heartbeats faded. Shall I call the officer? Did he hear me scream? She listened. Nothing. Nothing. I'll go the rest of the way. That silly story. She began counting the steps. 35, 36. Careful, don't fall. Oh, I am a fool. 37. 38 steps. 9 and 40. 2 makes 42. Halfway there, almost halfway there. She froze again. Wait, she told herself. She took a step. There was an echo. She took another step. Another echo. Another step, just a fraction of a moment later. Someone's following me, she whispered to the ravine, to the black crickets and the dark green hidden frogs and the black stream. Someone's on the steps behind me. I don't dare turn around. Another step, another echo. Every time I take a step, he takes one. A step and an echo. Weakly, she asked of the ravine, Officer Kennedy, is that you? The crickets were still. The crickets were listening. The night was listening to her. For a change, all of the far summer night meadows and close summer night trees were suspending motion. Leaf, shrub, star, and meadow grass ceased their particular tremors and were listening to Lavinia Nabb's heart. And perhaps 1,000 miles away across a locomotive lonely country, in an empty way station, a single traveler reading a dim newspaper under a solitary naked bulb might raise his head up, listen and think, what's that? And decide, only a woodchuck surely, beating on a hollow log. But it was Lavinia Nabb's. It was most surely the heart of Lavinia Nabb's. Silence. A summer night silence, which lay for 1,000 miles, which covered the earth like a white and shadowy sea. Faster, faster, she went down the steps. Run! She heard music in a mad way. In a silly way, she heard the great surge of music that pounded at her, and she realized as she ran in panic and in terror, that some part of her mind was dramatizing, borrowing from the turbulent musical score of some private drama. And the music was rushing, pushing her now, higher, higher, faster, faster, plummeting and scurrying down and down into the pit of the ravine. Only a little way, she prayed. 100, 8, 9, 110 steps. The bottom. Now run! Across the bridge! She told her legs what to do, her arms, her body, her terror. She advised all parts of herself in this white and terrible moment over the roaring creek waters, on the hollow, thudding, swaying, almost alive, resilient bridge plank she ran, followed by the wild footsteps behind with the music following too, the music shrieking and babbling. He's following. Don't turn. Don't look. If you see him, you'll not be able to move. You'll be so frightened. Just run. Run. She ran across the bridge. Oh, God. God, please, let me get up the hill. Now up the path. Now between the hills. Oh, God. It's dark and everything's so far away. If I scream now, it wouldn't help. I can't scream anyway. Here's the top of the path. Here's the street. Oh, God, please, let me be safe. If I get home safe, I'll never go out alone. I was a fool. Let me admit it. I was a fool. I don't know what terror was. But if you let me get home from this, I'll never go out without Helen or Francine again. Here's the street. Across the street. She crossed the street and rushed up the sidewalk. Oh, God, the porch. My house. "Oh God, please give me time to get inside and lock the door. I'll be safe." And there, silly thing to notice. Why did she notice instantly? No time. No time, but there it was anyway, flashing by. There on the porch rail, the half-filled glass of lemonade she had abandoned a long time, a year, half an evening ago. The lemonade glass sitting calmly, imperturbably there on the rail. And she heard her clumsy feet on the porch and listened and felt her hands scrabbling and ripping at the lock with the key. She heard her heart. She heard her inner voice screaming. The key fit. "Unlock the door, quick, quick." The door opened. "Now inside, slam it." She slammed the door. "Now lock it, bar it, lock it," she gasped wretchedly. "Lock it tight, tight." The door was locked and bolted tight. The music stopped. She listened to her heart again and the sound of its diminishing into silence. Home, oh God, safe at home, safe, safe, and safe at home. She slumped against the door. Safe, safe. Listen, not a sound. Safe, safe. Oh, thank God, safe at home. I'll never go out again at night. I'll stay home. Safe at home. So good, safe, safe inside, the door locked. Wait, look out the window. She looked. Why, there's no one there at all. Nobody. There was nobody following me. Nobody running after me. She got her breath and almost laughed to herself. It stands to reason. If a man had been following me, he'd have caught me. I'm not a fast runner. There's no one on the porch or in the yard. How silly of me. I wasn't running from anything. That ravine's as safe as any place, just the same. It's nice to be home. Home's a really good warm place, the only place to be. She put her hand out to the light switch and stopped. "What?" she asked. What? Behind her in the living room, someone had cleared his throat. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
If you guys have never read Ray Bradbury's
I'm going to
stuff,
present a reward.
go get it.
Okay, do you want
I
that?
don't know if I
We can